I thought I'd better do this before Chris comes for the weekend because he hates it when I'm sat there doing this. So I'm doing it while my tea cooks on a Wednesday evening. Greetings. Hello. Right, it is Wednesday, the 15th of January. I am back in Bucharest because it's a work day, obviously. Chris went back to Bulgaria yesterday with the dogs, so that's it's not too bad for me because it means I can get home from work and everything's neat and tidy, and I don't have to worry about anything. I think we've got the ideal system worked out now. So what we've got this week is just bloody wood again. So we came back here after the Christmas break, had Wednesday, Thursday, Friday here because I was working. And then Friday afternoon, Chris picked me up after work and we shot as fast as we could across Bucharest and went across the border at Rusay. And we did that because we weren't convinced we'd make the last ferry because it's really hard to get out of Bucharest. But you know what? Even with delays, it's just over 3 hours from door to door, and I don't think there's anything to complain about there. It's a bit weird at Rusay because the last couple of times we've been through, it's been absolutely dead, and we've just shot straight over, apart from the steamroller incident. Um, but this time there's a massive queue of lorries, and we waited twice on the bridge. The second time the lights changed and we were still on the bridge, bloody cars started shaking, and we were completely convinced there was an earthquake. We're like, let us off this bridge, give us a chance to live. Anyway, I've checked the earthquake statistics since then, and it says there wasn't an earthquake, so we don't know what it was. The dogs weren't like scratching or anything in the back. We've no idea why the car suddenly started shaking. But yeah, we were into Oresh by 7:30. Gave us a chance to get out of the car, get the dogs out to play for a bit, and make some tea and get the fire stoked up. Got an early night and ready for action on Saturday. So that was great. But we are still working our way through this wood pile because this is the reality, isn't it? You know, you think, oh yeah, I'd like this idyllic life where yeah, I'm going to live off the fat of the land and I'm going to have my own garden and grow my own stuff. And I love doing all that, and I am so excited about doing it this year. But the reality is, it's bloody hard work. And when you buy a house, I mean, ours was partly renovated, so we could at least move straight into it and it was fine. But it's not just the house that's been neglected, it's the land as well. You know, our garden, the grass was up to here before we moved in. Well, David got it cut for us before we actually took possession of the house. And the trees are some of them are beautiful. But James and Tina, you know, when they used to do our garden, they'd chop branches off things, but some of them are like 20 feet tall. And in our woodland in particular, which used to be a walnut plantation, you can barely see the walnut trees for everything else that's growing in there. And I don't necessarily want it all to come down. There's some mulberry trees in there. There's wild plum trees. There's even a couple of apple trees, but there's a lot of other stuff, and some of it has got so tall that it's when it's in leaf, it's bending over the entire path next to our house, and it is touching our fence, so it's got to go. And it's a big job. So uh, this weekend, Chris carried on doing the logs, like turning the firewood that we cut down a couple of years ago into log-sized pieces, and we did that until his circular saw set on fire, and then we thought that might be a good idea to stop at that point, was like fanning the flames out and things. We went back to the Husqvarna shop and the steel shop in Svishtoff. They were both closed again. So we thought, sod it, we'll go to Levski. We've got to get some dog food anyway. And there's a man who's got like a chainsaw stall there, and we bought another chainsaw off him, one that I can deal with because it's battery operated and it's only a 12-inch blade. But I've not got near it yet because Chris has been killing things. So there is a section in here where he got his hands on a tree before I could stop him. I was playing with the dogs, and I'd just been saying to him that these huge trees in the gardens, a couple of cherries, a couple of wild plums, and I've been saying I don't know if we can cut them down to like just above my head height, and then give them a chance to live again. Well, of course, he completely misinterpreted that, and by the time I turned around, he one of them was this tall. It's the saddest thing I've ever seen. I'm assuming it's dead. I'm assuming that's killed it, but we'll see. It's like last autumn when he cut a perfectly healthy apple tree down because he thought it was an acacia. I really need to be standing next to him to make sure that he doesn't do things like that. Um, so yeah, I asked for advice. I also put it up as a short. If anybody knows anything about pruning trees that have been out of control for 10, 15 years, I would really appreciate your help, possibly with pictures that could illustrate exactly what I've got to do. Um, so yeah, I mean, we had a short break while I went and got my hair cut with by Yulia, the village hairdresser. She's brilliant. I mean, look at this. This is a really good haircut, and she charges 15 lev. You'd pay like 300 lei for this in Bucharest, and my hair looks like the colour of raspberry ripple as the pink comes out. But I think it looks great, and it's just she's really good. There's no shit about her. She's just like, yeah, you want a buzz cut? You can have one. Um, even though she doesn't speak a word of English and my Bulgarian is limited to shouting nouns and verbs at people, we managed somehow to have a conversation about government corruption, schooling, the differences between Romania and Bulgaria, all sorts of things. We had a really nice chat. And then she took a video of my hair and she put it on her Facebook page for her hairdressers. And in amongst all the super and bravo that people were commenting, she put on it. It was an eccentric English woman whose hair I cut. We had great fun. So I said to the kids at school, "Oh, the village hairdresser who cut my hair, she's just called me an eccentric English woman." And one of them said, "What does eccentric mean?" And I said, "Like slightly strange and unusual." And they all just went, "Yeah, fair, fair comment, really." So the eccentric English woman I will be from now on. So I had my haircut. That was nice. Took a trip to Levski Market, and Levski itself, not the best place, but it does the job. The market's good. I'm going to start looking for some plants now. Came back, started chopping more things down. So we've taken the top off the plum tree that was by the gate, which I was going to cut down anyway, but James ended up using it as a fence support when he did the fence. Chris went off and we went up and down the woodland to see what we thought had to come down. I said, basically, this whole front row, is dangerous. If it doesn't come down on our fence, it's going to come down on someone's head or someone's car as they're driving by. So it's like, yeah, we'll start that. And he went up, and the first tree he tackled is crazy. It's, I think it's an acacia type thing. I keep calling them acacias, and I don't know if that's what they are. Some people call them mimosas, all sorts of, some people call them tree of heaven. But it's got like 15 trunks. And he got maybe 5 of them down, and it took him all day. And of course, once he's got them down and we've flung them over the fence into our garden, he doesn't want to do all the stuff which is trimming all the side branches off them and cutting them into reasonable sizes. So that ends up being my job. And that's fine, working in tandem at this. But like I say, it is bloody hard work. It's not all paradise and look at me, I've got these nice things and aren't I a wonderful human being? It's hard. But and I tend to forget that I do work 45 hours a week as well. I can't be doing that to myself at weekends. But I absolutely can't wait to get back and carry on with it. So he's gone back now. We're not going this weekend because our friends Joy and Francis has taken us out for a Korean barbecue to thank us for picking Poppy the dog up from Santa Paws. Anyone else want a dog? Please let me know. I will get in touch with them for you. So we're going out this weekend. He's coming here dog free. Colin's going to dog sit for us. Colin has now got a lovely little dog called Sarah. And on Sunday, when I got out of the car at Davies, this very ginger dog, who apparently Colin calls Ginge, and it goes for walks with him and Sarah, it came running over to the car, and I opened the car door and said hello. And it went, I can't even describe it. It went at me, and I thought, I said, "Oh, are you dangerous? Are you trying to scare me?" But at the same time, it was like bobbing and weaving and being really subservient and wagging its tail at me. So I put my hand out, and I got a million kisses, and then it followed me up the path to Davies. It was like, "You're my friend now." And I asked Colin, like, why is it showing its teeth like that? Because it went mad over Colin. It loves him. It goes walking with him and Sarah. And he said, "Oh, that's its welcoming grin." I thought that's absolutely brilliant. I love that dog. Oh, and for anyone who's following the dogs in my life, Mama B, Mama Beagle, I have seen her. She was with the village pack, the main strays, in the centre of the village. And the good news is she's got a municipality tag in her ear, which means that although she is still a stray, she has been registered by Svitjov municipality, and that means that she'll have been spayed as well. So what they do is they trap them, they spay them, they tag them so they can be monitored, and then they release them back again. And that's better than them spewing puppies out every 6 months. I'm still determined to have her. If she ever turns up at our gate again, I'm still determined to tame her and make her mine. But at least I know she's not going to be giving birth every 6 months, because that was awful. She's only a baby herself. So good news on that front. Ginger's gorgeous. There was also a black and white one, which I quite liked. I can't take all these dogs in because when my own 3 dogs are here in Bucharest, I'm just like, they're making a mess. It drives me mad. But they love Bulgaria. They're very happy there. No news on Chris's residency as yet, but we have got till the end of March to get that sorted. We've got a new member of staff at work who, lucky bugger, has a Irish passport. She's going to immigration tomorrow. I said, look, if you see my lawyer there, if she's working with you, will you please tell her I think she's wonderful, because that might hurry the process along. I'll message her at the end of the week again and just say, is there any? I know she won't talk to me if there's no news, so it's a waste of time. I'm going to do it anyway. Yeah, and that's that. So I can't wait to get back to Bulgaria. I have no idea what Chris is going to do for the next week or so, because there's plenty for him to be doing. Very much hoping that one of the exam boards pays me this week for the work I did over Christmas, because then I can do an IKEA spree and start getting some storage for the kitchen, because it's just too small and poxy and really annoying. And get a coffee table for in here and a boot rack for Bulgaria. And then I've got some work trickling in from the other exam board as well now, so should keep me busy and keep the pennies coming in so that we can enjoy our lifestyle. So yes, it's pretty good at the moment. Everything is good. Work is much easier with an extra member of staff. I'm feeling very enthusiastic now. I've bedded down into the job. I've got my energy levels back, and that feels good. And it's just perfect that we can set off straight after school on a Friday. We can be in the village for 7:30, and then we don't have to set off until, I think it's 3:30, 4 o'clock. Well, supposed to be a 4 o'clock ferry, didn't come till 4:20 this week. And we got stopped by the police for a spot check, so that was good, knowing that they are still doing their job. They stopped us and asked for, like, they saw I had a residency permit and said, where's yours, to Chris, and he was like, oh, I'm on holiday. But they were really nice, just said, have you got any cigarettes or alcohol in your car? We were like, no. It's cheaper on our side. It's cheaper on the Romanian side. And they were just like, thank you. How is your documents? Have a good day. So it's good to know they are still working, because if this goes wrong and people start flooding across Romania and Bulgaria, then they're just going to boot them out of Schengen again. And it's really convenient just being able to go back and forth like this. So that's that. I hope everyone's okay. If anyone can help me with the tree situation, I really would appreciate it, because I do want to prune. We've got them all the way around the perimeter of the house and the garden. We've got a quince, we've got cherries, we've got plums, we've got the odd baby walnut, possibly an apple tree, plus my sweet baby trees. And I would really like to know how to get them back to the best of health. Whether, some of them have got like 7, 8 trunks. Should I be cutting them back down to 1 trunk? Can I prune them to, like, I'm 5'4", so stick that up, 6.5 foot size? Is that something I can do, or is that going to kill them? A tree person would come in really, really handy right now. I'm sorry that the video is mostly either wood or me talking about wood, but that is the reality of my life right now, is a wood glut. Hope everyone's okay. I've said that once already. The brain's going, old age. Much love to everyone, and it's absolutely bloody freezing here, if that makes anyone in Britain feel better. Like, every time I step out the building, I'm just like, oh my God, how is it possibly that cold? So yeah, but it's fine. It's all good. Got a big coat. Right, much love. Third time, and lucky you might get rid of me this time. And I'll see you in a week or two. Peace out. Right, second time lucky, because the first time I started this, Chris decided to stop and have a pee on the side of the road. So I've had my hair cut, we've been into Svishtov, and yet again the Husqvarna shop is shut, and so is the steel shop. So we've still not got a chainsaw blade. We've still got half hundredweight of wood that needs chopping. So we're going to, and then we came back to the village, and we went into Miro's shop to get the dog meat, which we ordered last week. As soon as I walked in, his face scrumpled up, and I thought, oh, he's forgotten my dog meat. And it was like, Monday. So yeah, so we bought a can of dog food, but now we're going to Levski because they sell dog meat in the supermarket there, if they've got any. But also Levski is full of second-hand shops and hardware shops, so we might well get a chainsaw blade there. And I think it's market day. Of where you're allowed to park in towns, because there are no signs, but somehow you end up getting in trouble because you've parked somewhere you're not supposed to park. But we've just spotted the market, so we're going to go and have a look and then come back to this supermarket and see if we can get some dog food. It's not the world's most exciting market, and it's not the world's most salubrious town. In fact, I bloody hate it here. It's so ugly and Soviet. But we have found a second-hand stall selling chainsaws. So we've just been back to the car to make sure what size our blade is before we try and get ourselves a new chain. Right, so we think we've got a chain. Do we not think we've got a chain, my love? Chris doesn't believe it'll fit. I do. And then we happen to spot this little baby 12-inch chainsaw on a battery. Perfect for me. But we don't think we'd better go in the supermarket holding it, so we're just going to take it back to the car. Right, so we didn't get a chainsaw chain in the end, because it turned out the one we bought was for, what's it for? Benzene, petrol? Was it for petrol? The chain. Was it for?
Yeah, it's for petrol.
Right. So we can't turn second right because we'll end up in the middle of the market. We're going to have to, aren't we? Okay, we're stuck now because we... Oh, okay, we're gonna go down this housing estate. Yeah, anyway, so it was a 14-inch for a benzene. Apparently it's different to a 14-inch to a... Oh, there's the other Absolute. That's the one we were aiming for. That one over there. So yeah, I'm rambling here. So yeah, it didn't fit. So we went back with the chainsaw, and he said, no, don't sell those. He doesn't sell them for electric chains. I don't know why one would be a different size to the other, but there you go. So now we're making our way out of the horrors of Levski and its gigantic gypsy palaces, and we're going home because I need a wee. And at least I've got my chainsaw, so I can play all day. I would like some tree advice because I don't know anything about trees. I know about vegetables and I know about fruit like strawberries, but I don't know anything about trees. So these are obviously way too big. They've not been touched for like a decade or something. What I'm thinking, based on what I've seen people in the village doing, is if I top them to about this height and just chop them down so they're just the, like, say for this one it's just those three, but you know, like just above head height. Is that right? Is that what you're supposed to do? I really don't know anything about trees. While I wasn't looking, Chris got his hands on this one, and he's done this to it before his battery ran out. I don't know. I think he's probably killed that, has he? Or will it grow back? I don't know. But yeah, they're just way high, and I think some of them are cherry and some of them are plum, and they just need cutting right back. But like I say, I don't know anything about trees. If anyone could advise me what to do with these, maybe with diagrams, that would be very much appreciated. At the moment, the big priority is just getting some of this wood that we've already got chopped and stacked, because we've now got this lying on the floor from Chris's experiment, and I will know where to put it. I've got nowhere until I've got the wood chopped. So yeah, any help will be much appreciated. Right, we're back to work, since Chris has just realised we've got nowhere to put wood and he's killed that tree. So I have filled up this, cleaned it out first as well, And Chris is back, if you can hear him. He's back to chopping wood with his saws since we're having chainsaw disasters. Oh, shit. And yeah, he's getting me lots and lots of wood now. So I'm going to take this lot down to the woodshed and stack it up. I tell you what, we'll not freeze for a few years. Another bucket for you here, love, if you need it. I just want to very proudly show you that I've finally got Chris to cut all that wood that was stacked up there from 2-3 years ago. This obviously is the smaller stuff that I did, and we're going to use that as kindling. But we've got the big logs done. I think we've set the saw on fire, but it's, you know, it's fine, it's fine. But that's a good thing, because here we go again. I've just pulled this out by the root, which I'm really proud of myself for. And this is, Chris is just cutting up that tree. He's just butchered. Poor thing. It might come back to life. I don't know. Thought we were nearly done. And we were talking about, show my log pile in a minute, about getting some of this bloody twig stuff gone. But then we've just been having a discussion about how this is probably the best time of year to get some of these trees out of the way while there's no leaves on them. Because some of the ones on the woodland are actually hanging, they're so big and overgrown, they're hanging over our fence, like right over the road. So, first things first, Chris is chopping the tops off this tree, because we were going to cut this one down, but then we ended up using it as a fence support. But it's breaking and it's going to bring the fence down. So, whereas I'm sad about the one that Chris killed accidentally, I don't mind murdering this one. I think buying this chainsaw today was a good move. We're not having any luck getting a chain or getting anything sharpened. Well, but we don't know who it belongs to. We don't know where our boundary stops and down there's boundary begins. So like that's the branch we had to cut off the plum tree in the summer. And we know these ones are ours down here and along here. This is dead, so it's going to have to come down. And these probably need to come down as well. And then we were just saying about these ones next to Chris's car. That's not our property line, that's next door's, but next door is empty. And we're wondering if they'd mind if we just top their trees, because otherwise it's going to hit Chris's car at some point. So I wish I knew who next door belonged to. Not that I've got any money to buy it, but you know, it'd be nice if we could get access to it even. See, 10-minute job, he said. It's nearly dark. Go again. Sunday morning, and we are still chopping this tree down, because yesterday we got stopped because the battery ran out as it went dark. And obviously I've still got this lot to deal with. I just don't know when I'm going to do it. I've only got a few hours now and I have to go back to Bucharest. So my job is I'm going to go and get the snippers. I'm going to snip the bits off this and just leave the big branches, the trunks, for cutting up next year. Look at my wood pile now. I wish it wasn't sagging so precariously in the middle. Look, so I have to keep going and pushing everything back. But anyway, this is going to start getting burnt very soon, because what we had in the house has now run out. So Project 2026 has begun in this barn here, but we are going to utilise, there's a whole top floor of this barn, so we're going to use that, we think, because otherwise we've no space. So this is the corpse of the tree that Chris murdered yesterday. That's not going to be used for a year or two. And then I thought we were doing really well. I thought, oh, we've got a bit that we cut down this year. And then I opened the barn, and it's more than a bit. That's next year's wood, and that should see us through. And over here, it looks like Chris is getting the majority of this tree down. He's doing a grand job. So I need to go and get the snippies now and snippy the bits that we're going to just burn as garden waste away. What fun. Well, that creeper's stuck to it. It certainly is. I'll go and get my snips. There's a lot of tree. So, in addition to the stuff that I've just put in the shed, this is about all I could justifiably salvage as worthy of proper firewood. Some of it isn't really, but I don't want to waste it. And then I've got 1, 2, 3 piles of branches, which are just going to have to sit here for a while. We might burn some of them, crunch some of them up. I don't know. Meanwhile, back in the house, we have turf wars going on over what bed belongs to who. Or is it whom? I should know that. I'm an English teacher. Monica's got this plastic chew toy, and she keeps growling at everyone because she thinks they want it. Nobody wants her shitty chew toy, but that's what she thinks. Anyway, I've sat down for a minute. That's probably not a good idea. I might not get up again. I've got to go and help Chris process that tree he's just chopped down. Right, success. Chris has removed the tops of that tree that could well have landed on his car. And now he's making all these lovely logs for me. And I'm going to store them in there. The other thing we need to do, I think I said this last night, I've slept since then, is we need to get most of this front row of trees down here. Not because we need the wood. The last thing we need is more wood. But just because they're dangerous. Sometimes I think garden renovation is even harder than house renovation. This garden hasn't been touched for 10, 15 years. A nightmare. So that's all going to need to come down. But that's our property lines. I don't think they'll mind. I think it's empty. And then, yeah, this corner. It's a nasty job, that, though. It's all such scrubby, horrible stuff. And then, come up here, and you can't tell. I can't tell what's a walnut here. That might be a walnut. But this is all, when this gets leaves on it, it's going to bring our fence down. So. Yeah, I think if we get that scrubby one down, and maybe these, and make a start on this, that's a start, isn't it? Yeah, those are easy. Yeah, that'd be a good place to start. Where's Monica? Did she come out with us? Oh, she's over there. Money! Yeah. Oh, it's all the way down. And look up there, all hanging over into our garden as well. But one of those is a massive old chestnuts. Walnuts, we'll have to leave that. That's what I kept doing. I can go and get me. Bella! Bella! Ellie! Come back! Keep wandering off. They're fascinated because it smells of jackals, I think. You come down here. This is all broken shit that needs to come down. And then these are a danger to our garden. Look, right next to our fence. And then I wouldn't mind, but I snipped this lot down last year, and I'm going to have to do it again. What? Green ones, definitely. Yeah, they're the ones I marked for death years ago. Come on, Elle. Come on, Bella. I see a future for myself in which I am dragging trees into a garden. As soon as I press stop, that tree will come down. That's what I'm waiting for. I think he's got about half that tree down. It's the craziest tree I've ever seen. The rest aren't as bad as that. We now have, I don't know, 2026's kindling pile. It's just going to sit there. We've still got more he's chopping, obviously, to bring in so the path's clear, because occasionally people drive down here. And this is my salvageable to go in the wood of 2026 pile, which I'm now going to have to start carrying up there. And I am actually really quite tired now. I'm ready to jack in for the day. I've got to work tomorrow. Okay, so in this wood-filled episode, Chris is entirely heroic. He's still chopping everything and throwing it into that pile from the fence so that we're not blocking the road for everyone. I've just moved this lot up here. I'm going to put it in the shed to dry out. Honestly, you think, oh yeah, I want to live this idyllic life in Bulgaria and, you know, do things traditionally. And it's great. And honestly, I never use my oven in the winter because I just use my petrika. It's brilliant. But the reality of it is it's really hard work. Like, these do not fall off the tree as logs. You have to cut all the side branches off them, store that somewhere. Look at the state of that lot. And then you have to lug them all over the place to store them somewhere. In this case, in my donkey barn. Oh, I'll be glad to go to Davies and get me dinner, to be honest. The ferry boat has finally arrived, so I suppose I have to face the fact that I've got to go back to work tomorrow. I can't just say, oh, there's no ferry boat. And obviously all the road crossings have stopped existing. Oh well, see you in about 12 days, Bulgaria.